I'm Jenny. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate that you're here. So today I want to show you something that I'm doing. I think I probably won't do this all the time, but I'm going to do it some of the time. I know. Helps if I don't get ahead of myself. One of the reasons I recently reorganized my studio is because I felt overwhelmed. I have so much stuff and I feel much lighter now. I feel like I have a handle on it. Instead of having 1,000 of something, I honed it down so I have some. I have enough to play with, but I've passed on other materials that I don't play with as much or that I had way too much of. So that makes me feel better. But I also know that sometimes I struggle with trying to decide what to do. That is one of the biggest time sucks for me is spending time going, what should I do? What should I do? I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And there are so many choices that I need prompts. And so I'm going to try some prompts. I have used these cards. They're round corner die cut cards that I just had. I had them in my stash, and I'm going to be passing along some of the extras. But I had plenty of these, so I thought I'd use some of these. And I want to talk a little bit about how I decided what categories to make and what to put in them. I have seen lots of people with prompts and cards that they've made, and they have some little cards, and many of them have 3 or 4 sets of cards that they use. I kind of maybe went overboard. I have six different sets of cards. So I have color, form, add-ons, technique, material, and theme. Now you will notice the theme stack is very thick. And what I did is for every tub that I showed you guys in my reorganization video, like one says animals, one says butterflies and bugs, one says food and beverage, that kind of stuff. For each of those tubs, there's a card, but also within the tubs, I have broken those down. So for example, in the animals tub, there I have sorted out images of cats and dogs and mice and I think some teddy bears, bears and things like that. So each of those is on a theme card. So I have one tub that's uncategorized. I have a tub that says trees, plants, and leaves, but I gave each of those their own card so that when I go to pull something from the tub, I have honed it down to one of those packets. I have kind of some plastic envelopes, excuse me, that I purchased last year, actually quite a while ago, with the intention of doing this and never got it completed. So I have put each tub is on here. Fruits and vegetables. The food one has a category inside it that says fruits and vegetables, dishes and assorted food. There's one that's wine, cocktails, tea and coffee. For holidays, I just put whatever the upcoming holiday is. I have both bugs and butterflies because I have those separated out in that tub. Here's the animal one. There's a lot in the animal one. Chickens, sheep, and goats, raccoons, squirrels, foxes, dogs, birds, bears. I have a lot of turtles I've drawn and cut out. I have a lot of mice and bunnies and horses and cats. So there are quite a few of those. And I just pulled everything I had in my bins. And I feel like this makes it very personal to the images that I have. So rather than using a generic list that I have seen, I've seen other people put together some lists, and I don't know if they're just generic lists or they're lists that go with their own materials. It's not real clear sometimes because they didn't have quite as many. So I feel like I have just tailored this specifically to my materials. And so for the material cards, I have kinds of paper. So I have printed, colored paper, solid paper, lined paper, graph paper, music paper, text pages, coffee dyed paper, paper bags, file folders, sewing patterns or tissue paper, transfers, regular tissue paper, and even fabric. So one of these materials will be included in the project. For technique, I have things like sewing and collage and painting and coloring, stamping, stenciling, and drawing. So these are all things that I enjoy doing in my journals. For add-ons, well, let's see, let's get to form. So for form, that's going to tell me what I'm going to make. Am I making a journaling card, a specimen card, a tag, envelope, a greeting card to send somebody, tickets, maybe a paper doll, maybe a folio, maybe a window for a book. I'm crafting with cats today. As you can see, I have a couple of my cats are up here hopping back and forth. A tip-in, a tuck spot, hello Zapper, a pocket, a belly band. So all the things, you know, that I could think of that I might make, and I'm sure I will think of others. And then of course, color is just what it says. I do have a neutral or metallic sort. Then I have violet, blue, red, orange, yellow, green, right? I just lumped indigo in with blue, you know, as far as rainbow colors go. And then I have the add-on, and the add-ons have things like glitter, clusters that I've made using washi tape, paper lace or doilies, maybe adding a zipper to it, maybe adding some fabric lace. I have bling. Of course, I showed you my 2 different tubs with stick-on bling and bling on a roll. Yarn, maybe some stickers, maybe some snippet rolls that I have made, trims, ribbons, words, sequencer beads, and then small embellishments. I have a tub where I have sorted out just a bunch of little embellishments that are really small. They could go in the categories, like a lot of them are flowers and butterflies and things like that, but they're very small. And I feel like they're just things that I could add to any page. So I kind of separated them out. Hello, Zapper. I am definitely crafting with cats today. So I just wanted to show you this. I'm not sure if I'm going to take cards out as I use them and maybe put them in a separate stack so that I don't repeat things, or if I'm going to cycle them back in. I don't think I'll do this every time I make something, but certainly on the days when I feel stuck, I will definitely be using this. And I thought maybe today we'd give it a try. I made these cards, and I'm sure they could be much neater. I didn't take the time to print them out and, you know, or do calligraphy and stuff. I really just wrote on them and then used a highlighter. This one even smeared, you can see. Used a highlighter to, you know, color code them. So my thought is that, you know, I would want to kind of shuffle them all up and get some kind of random something. So let's see what we get here. So we'll let's shuffle them, and then some of these are not, you know, really big enough to shuffle like a deck of cards. We'll kind of shuffle them around here, and we'll pick something and maybe make something today. I think that might be fun. Just try them out. You know, I'm kind of interested to see how that goes. I can see that, you know, it might cause some problems. Some things might not quite seem to go. And, you know, I figure if that happens, if I get things that just don't really go together. I get a specimen card and, you know, something that doesn't really go with a specimen card at all, a paper doll. You know, maybe I can figure out an interesting way to incorporate it. But if not, then I can just redraw. This is not, you know, this is not a test. You know, we'll just have to kind of see what kinds of things, you know, we can make and incorporate into a page. And a lot of the things, the form, you know, if it says a specimen card, so we'll make a specimen card and then we'll put it on a page and maybe use some of the other stuff, you know, on the page with it. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, just that one little thing. All right, so let's see what we're going to make. We're going to make a folder or folio. We're going to use some drawing on it. We're going to use some music paper. We're going to do it in green. We're going to do it with a theme of, upcoming holidays. So the next holiday coming up really, I mean, there's MLK Day, Civil Rights Day, and then there's Valentine's Day. But it might be fun to do something green for Valentine's Day, right? Something that's not quite so normal with the pink and the red. And then we're going to use sewing patterns or tissue. Okay, so I think this is kind of exciting. So I am going to do a little digging and see what I can find for these prompts. And then I'll be back and we'll make a folio. Okay, so see you in a few. Okay, I've done a little digging and a little kind of pre-folding, checking stuff out here. And let me show you what I found. So, oops, I've got stuff blowing things places. And my kitty cats have decided in the meantime to go lay somewhere else, so that's good. All right, so here's the plan. We're gonna make a folio. Let's see where our little thing is. I'm gonna make a little folder or folio for Valentine's Day. That's the next holiday, so that's folder, folio, holiday. Our color was green. So the base is going to be this green, and I have some other things that are green that I'm going to show you that we're going to use. I have some music paper that we're going to use. I have sewing patterns or tissue paper. Let me show you what I found in my sewing patterns. I found some tissue transfer paper that goes with a sewing pattern so that you can embroider on a dress. So there's embroidery stuff for a dress. And I've cut out a few little flowers from that. And we're gonna do a little drawing. We're gonna do some doodling on a heart to incorporate a little drawing. So that's the plan. The other thing I have pulled out is I pulled out some paper. This is a book page from Literary England. That I previously smushed ink on. I just did the smush technique where you put it on. I put mine on a piece of glass and added some water and then kind of just smushed the paper around on it. I did 2 or 3 different colors. You can see there's kind of a brown and a blue and a green in there. So I did those with the Tim Holtz inks, the little ink pads. So here's my thought is I thought, and you can see I've kind of pre-folded this sheet. I thought we would apply the music page to one side and then fold it like this to make a little folio and then decorate it for Valentine's Day. And I have some things to decorate for Valentine's as well. I did find, here's one of my inspiration things. I found this heart that I had made previously. There was a video, not sure if it was a Motivational Monday video or a different one, where I wove some paper and I had some left. I used it in a project and I had some left, so I just cut out a heart from what was left. So I'd have a fun scrap. So this is kind of cool because it's got green on it and browns, and so I thought it went really well with this. And then of course I've got some gold and things to put on there too. So I am a little concerned that because I folded my paper, the music isn't gonna wanna stick down. I think the music page is a little bigger, so that's okay. So maybe we'll just stick it from this side. I thought I might stick it on there, fold it up, and then sew around the edges just to help it stay put a little better. If I can get my art glitter glue to come out, I do want to do kind of the edges with the art glitter glue, just because I feel like it's going to stay better than if I used glue stick. I mean, I like my glue stick. I struggle with the art glitter glue, and part of it is just because it's hard to get out. I could take off that little nozzle, I'm sure. I'm just gonna kind of dot some around my hands. I have arthritis, and so squeezing the bottle really hard. I think I should probably just decant it into smaller bottles, because I think part of the problem is I have such a large bottle that it becomes problematic, you know, to get the glue down. I bought kind of a big bottle. Came across it in a shop and bought some, so I didn't have to order it. So, you know, I mean, I'm sure it's user error. Everybody talks about, you know, how great it is. And it is a really good glue. It sticks. You know, things stick really well when you use it. But sometimes I struggle with getting it out of the bottle. So I'm just going to kind of push that up to this edge. And then smooth it down. So, and you know, it doesn't take very much of the glue, and it holds really well. So there are good things about the glue. I don't mean to disparage the glue. I just seem to struggle with it. So, and I did the piece of music I picked talks about, you know, I'll follow you, sweetheart, and share your little love nest, and you know, that kind of stuff. So I thought that was a good choice. See, I flattened that out, but that's still, I think by the time we decorate it, we really won't see that. Hopefully, some little bubbles. Okay, let's trim this up. I should probably put this back in so my glue doesn't dry out here. Let's trim this off a little bit. And then we can do a little folding. I'll show you what I have in mind. So, you know, this is the first thing I've done with these prompts, and I did find it, on one hand, I found it interesting and challenging enough because I had to come up with something to do with, you know, Valentine's Day and green, which you don't normally associate with each other. But, you know, I'm thinking about, I'm making something here for, you know, for my lock and bar. And, you know, he's not necessarily a pink kind of fella. You know, and there's nothing wrong with being a fella who likes pink, but I think a lot of guys prefer to get things that maybe aren't quite so pink on Valentine's Day, although it will have lace and things like that on it, so it'll still be pretty Valentine-y. Okay, so we've got that, and then my idea. See, I feel like my idea is that I would fold this way, and the little folio is going to have 4 little pockets inside that I can put some tags or notes or something in. So let's go ahead, and I had kind of pre-folded the green paper. And now that we've added the music paper to it, it's a good deal thicker. But neither paper was very heavy on its own, so you know, this is going to be much more robust, I think. I've got a little bit of a little bit of a tear here, so let's see if we can stick that down. I think I am going to sew around the edges and stuff, so that should take care of any edge problems I might have with the papers separating. All right, so I just want to get my folds in here. And then this was just to the center. I think I'm going to have to trim that just a little bit maybe. But again, I don't mind. So so I was saying about, you know, this, I thought it was enough direction, but still enough leeway, you know, because if I really hated it, I wouldn't have to do this. You know, it's not like I have to do it. Okay, so my idea here is to make this little folio kind of thing that I could give Lochinvar, and each of the pockets here we'll decorate it, and they'll have like a tag or something in it, or some tickets or something like that that I could make and write him a little note on maybe. So my thought is on the inside that I would cut this heart in half and put it here, and then, you know, we might decorate something out around it too. But my idea is that, you know, the heart will meet here in the middle, and then on the outside, I thought I might add this and then another heart out of this paper over the top of it, a heart over the top of it that we can draw. And so we can do our drawing on here. We can doodle something on the heart and make it all kind of fancy pretty. And then this would be the outside here. And then this heart would be on the inside. And then these would go on the inside here. And I'm thinking I brought along these little things. There's these little tiny doilies. And I'm wondering about attaching these to the doily, like cutting the doily in half. Let's see if we can. So we can get that torn. So if I tear it in half, put it which way? Maybe this way. And then the doily, this would maybe go over part of it. And these would be sewn up here. And we could, of course, decorate down there. I brought along this. I thought this might be fun on the bottom, since it's for a guy. It's all scrolly and pretty. I wonder if that would do okay there. I wonder if I should glue that down, put that down before I sew it, so that it sews over. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is gonna work? Should we? Let's see. Where's my other one? Got another one here. This one's a little more horizontal. I don't know. Let's see. Just trying to kind of get a plan here before I start attaching too much stuff. This could go maybe this way. One of those. This way. You know, that way there's something pretty back there. I don't know, what do we think about this? I'm not sure. Not sure about that. I think maybe not that, because I'm thinking we could put some little butterflies or flowers or something. You know, we can decorate down here. Find some little things maybe. Some little flowers. or some other little pieces. I wonder about some other little pieces of lace. I wonder about, could we do like little fans? I have some more of these. Could we do like a little piece down here? I think we'll have to figure that out in a minute. So I think the next step is to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew up all of the little pockets here, so that they stay put. So I will be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. I have sewn it, so you can see I sewed all the pockets, and I'm just gonna probably slide a tag down in there, so it's okay if there's not a lot of extra space. And so I sewed around the top edge and down each of the pockets, and so that gave us stitching on the other side as well. You can see I caught a little bit of thread here. I've got a little bit of thread hanging off here. Not real worried about it. I don't mind. You know, it kind of makes it a little bit tatty, as Joey DeFee would say. I like Joey DeFee, she's fun. And so I think the next thing to do then is to, I don't know, should we do the outside? The last thing we're gonna do is put in a couple of little, you know, we're gonna punch some holes and put some, oh, I can't think of what it's called now. It's not a brad. Anyway, I'll think of it. And then we're gonna put a little tie. We're gonna put a tie there to hold it closed. So that's kind of getting nice and squishy here. And so now I don't have to worry too much about the edges. So let's see, is it better, should we do the outside? Do the outside next, do you think? Or the inside? Okay, I guess we'll do the outside. Then we can lay that flat. All right, so I'm thinking I'm just going to glue this first. And so I should have gotten a magazine to glue on. I forget to pick up these things. I don't know why I always forget to get a magazine. So I think the glue stick is the way to go here, even though it's gonna kind of get torn and a little sticky here with this. I think if we don't move it around, you know, it's gonna make it a little sticky. I think it's the way to go. Hopefully, get it nice and sticky. Make sure I got it right side up. Although it doesn't really matter, does it? Because it's a doily. So right to the edge there. Hold it over there. Okay. I'm gonna use my towel because I have glue and it's sticking because of all the little holes. Messy. I'm always a mess, right? Always a mess. But that's okay. That looks like it's doing pretty well. Good. All right, good. Okay, so I think I'm gonna set this over here under my art glitter glue bottle for a minute while we do a little heart. Let's see, I guess, how big is this? Too big? That seems a little big. I brought this other one to use as a size. I think that would be a good size so that we can still see the doily. So let's find a pretty green area here. I like down here too, so maybe down here. And we'll just kind of trace the heart. There we go. All right. So I think before I cut it out, it might be easier to do a little drawing on it beforehand. Not really sure what I want to draw on it. Maybe just some little heart doodles. Maybe lots of other little hearts. I don't know. I guess if I hate it, we can always, you know, cut another heart out. Right? I'm just thinking about some patterns. I have something on my table underneath there that is causing it to not be quite smooth. But I think that's okay. So let's see. Since it's Valentine's, right? And we can, I think, maybe put a sentiment over the top or around the edge somewhere. You know, I don't know, maybe around the edge with the above the doily, that kind of stuff. That almost looks like a bead or something, doesn't it? Just trying to make some little patterns here. Just want all the hearts to be different. Right. Let's see. Another one here. Maybe polka dots. All right, this is where we get to add a good deal of whimsy and silliness. And of course, we'll have to have some bling at the end, won't we? Let's see, we've got 3, 5. Let's see. We could go over some of those, like maybe outline them with a little bit darker. Oh, let's do that. Let's see, what do I have? It's a point, here's a brush tip. That, as usual, I have nothing to say while I am doodling. Because I just can't seem to doodle and talk at the same time, which is why I doodled through school, because, you know, it kept me out of trouble because I always wanted to talk to everybody around me. I was always a talker. And so when I doodled, it gave me something to look at and something to do besides, you know, the other people in the class, and then I wouldn't get in trouble. Might be a little harder. Let's see. Should we fill in the area? Put a little bit of an outline, maybe a darker outline out here. Having trouble keeping my hand steady today, I see. There we go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we need a couple more in here. Just some funky little patterns. There we go. I think maybe we need to fill in, we just need to do some, filling in around. Just to add some whimsical pattern and silliness to it, right? Lochinvar would not expect to get anything too serious from me. Right, that would be there. He knows that I am not too terribly serious in the things that I make. Right. You can take the act of making something seriously, but you don't have to take yourself, too seriously. I think creativity is something to take seriously, but I also think if you take yourself too seriously while you're doing it, you start not having fun. So that's just my personal take on it. So let's cut this out and see what we get here. I think this will be cute. So I like the juxtaposition of the, kind of silly little hearts with the bling and the stuff like that. It's like, some of it is more serious looking and, a little more fancy than others. So I always like a little bit of bling and fancy mixed in with all of the silliness. That's kind of just my style. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look. This has been sitting over here. That looks a little better. So then my thought is this would go over the top of that. So let's give this a little bit of a crease here. And let's get some glue. Get some glue on that. And then we can put it on there, and then we can do the inside. Just want to get enough that I get out over the edges here. I just want to make sure I get the edges. I always hate it when the edges come undone and I have to re-glue them later. So does that happen to you guys? Do you have edges, you don't quite get them stuck down the first time, and then you end up having to re-glue them? So, all right, knocking stuff off here. Get my towel again so I can press it down without smudging it or smearing it or tearing it with my sticky fingers. The other side. Okay. I feel like I knocked something off, but I'm not sure what it is. All right, and then on the outside here, I think we can put a sentiment. We can put, for my love, or, something like that out here when we get to the last stage there. All right, I want this in here. So I'm gonna have to cut it in half, which I don't really want to cut it in half. I'm afraid it's gonna fall apart, but all we can do is the best we can do here. So, all right. Okay. Doesn't really want to fold. I'm thinking I may just have to re-glue some edges here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. All right, let's get some art glitter glue and we can repair that because it was woven, so it's not all. See, now I had it sitting right side up. In the bin where I store it, I keep it kind of sideways, so it's a little the glue is a little closer. Okay, that one. All right, I think the outer edges are okay because I already checked those, but those inner edges, let's see, where are we? How did that not happen? That must be glued. I must have cut right along the glue line there. Okay, so this is going to go, I think we'll go ahead and separate it just a little bit and put it like right up against the stitching. I don't know, should we put something else under it? I don't know, what do you think? Should we? Does it need some collage elements under it? I'm feeling like maybe it does. I'm not sure. Well, maybe I shouldn't glue that down yet then. So, but these, I think, let's see, I think we had it this way. These, I think, we can probably go ahead and put in because I think those are going to be, you know, just like this. So I'm not sure I'm going to put too much more up there because I am going to put a tag up there. So I don't want it to be, you know, too bulky. I just want a little something there to give it some interest. Oh, of course. Just tore my little doily because I'm a little aggressive with the glue. Big surprise, right? Big surprise. Okay. Can fix it. Just inside there. See if I can stick this back on here. Not sure which way it went. I think it went, did it go this way? Which way did it go? I don't know which way it went, guys. Okay, just not gonna put it back on there because I don't know which way it went. Oh well. Let's see. Okay. All right, so we've got that. Let's see which flower. This one's kind of wide. I think I want one of the taller ones. Let's do this one. Is it darker on that side? I think it's darker on this side. So let's see if we can attach that. Down just a little. There we go. I think I like that. Oh, I'm tearing it a little bit, but oh well. Oh well. It's just paper. I tend to be a little heavy-handed when I'm gluing things. So let's see, where's the other one? So maybe this one, and then this one, and this one. Okay. All right. Put another one of these down. What do you think? Should we put it the same way? Should we have them so that they go this way? Or this way? Maybe I like them so that they go in the center and then out, right? But I guess that would have been, so that would have been like this. Yeah, okay. Let's do it that way. I will try not to tear this one, although it does seem to be sticking to the magazine here a little bit. A little bit of edge there. Okay, let's see which one is next. This one, is it darker or lighter? It seems like it's darker on this side. Hope you guys are having a good day. I feel like this is, like I'm just not talking very much today. I don't know. Some days I seem to have more to say than others, I guess. Hope I'm not actually leaning over this too far too. So I'm, you know, with the drawing, the prompt cards and things like that. It's a little different. So I think I'm just kind of concentrating on what I'm doing here. You know, because I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to be like, oh, look, I made these prompt cards and then I can't follow them. That would be bad. So, you know, so I just want to, I just want to make sure I do it right. It's what I'm after. Let's see. Lighter, darker, yeah. I was lucky, I think, to find these little flower pattern things in my stash. So I saw them when I was cleaning everything out. I did pass along a few other patterns and some tissue pattern. I kept some tissue that was interesting like this, and I kept some regular pattern tissue as well. But I also discovered that I have about 3 different colors of the tissue paper in the patterns, that some of them are really dark and some of them are really light, and this one's kind of a lighter one. But there are some that are printed, oops, on really dark kind of tissue. It's interesting, and they're just interesting colors, and it could just be that they're older maybe. I have some from the 60s and 70s for sure. So, you know, it could just be that they're older, but I kind of feel like it was just different companies printing on different tissue, you know, that they just, now I've lost which side it's up. I feel like it might just more be, you know, different companies, you know, Simplicity, McCall. I think I know I have Simplicity and McCall. I might have some Vogue patterns in there. It's possible. I have some patterns that my mother gave me, and I have some patterns that I purchased at like an antique store. So I have kind of a variety. All right, I like that. I think that's pretty cool. So I guess we need to decide about this. I don't think I want that. I think that's too dark. It's too much black. All right, but we have that, so we can just do some embellishments there. And now we just need to decide what kind of something should we put behind the heart. Do we want some of this paper so that it kind of goes back to what's on the front? What do you think? Seems to be buckling a little bit. Oh. All right, I feel like I may need to let this dry before I do too much more to it, because the glue is just buckling on there, and now it's kind of buckled up on me. Oh. Let's see, how am I going to fix this? Okay, haha, see, it's still wet. There we go, therein lies the trouble. I think we can probably squish that down a little bit. But this top part is moving around. That's not good. I think it's just because it's wet, and I keep folding it while it's wet, and it doesn't doesn't want to fold. So I may have to put it under book and let it dry. I don't think that's, and now that doesn't want to stick. Do you guys have this trouble sometimes? Things like this happen to you? I think they happen to all of us. It's just a matter of figuring out how to make it lay down, or, you know. So I think that is okay. And then this needs to go back. That's the center. And I think I may just have to lay that down to dry. Yeah. All right. I am going to take a quick little break, figure out what can go under those little hearts, and I'm going to stick this under a book and see if I can get it to dry a little better before we go on. So I'll be back in a minute.